This is John McQuay with 8541 Tactical, and we're here at the 2019 Shooting, Hunting, and Outdoor Trade Show, and we're in the Accuracy International booth. We've got Scott here, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about the new ASR. Scott?
John, it's a pleasure to see you again. So as we discussed, this is our latest rifle. This gun was developed in response to the ASR solicitation by SOCOM. So there are a lot of new features with this rifle, and many of them are driven by the performance specification, and there's other features that are a culmination of user feedback and learnings from the AXMC generation of rifle that are all rolled up into this new package.
Okay.
So, one of the big things, technology feature, is we have the Rrs Dovetail. You can see this gun is rigidly locked into a tripod, and we've extended that dovetail all the way out on the fore end. Tripods are here, and they are the future for tactical shooting and sniping, and we made the decision to incorporate the interface into the gun for a number of reasons. We can make it simpler with fewer parts, and we can make it lighter, and we can make it stronger. So it made a lot of sense just to incorporate the mount interface technology straight into the weapon. Another big departure for AI is we went with the AR style grip architecture. We've had a very positive response to the grip. We have this fitted with the Ergo grip. If you look closely, the grip is quite vertical, and we made the interface 10 degrees off of vertical or off of horizontal.
Very nice.
In order to give it a more vertical grip surface for tactical control. That's been very well received. We lightened the gun everywhere. We had a weight range in the piece spec, I think, of about 13 to 17 pound, and we targeted the gun right in the middle of the spec range for a number of reasons. We're balancing accuracy, recoil performance against weight and portability. We could have gone with something like a carbon fiber barrel and come right down to the objective weight,
okay,
but then we would be struggling to meet recoil impulse and POI shift. So we came up with a nice balance. The gun weighs 14 and a half pounds in this configuration with a very heavy steel barrel. Very nice gun to shoot. We also developed a .308 magazine that does not require an adapter. The previous gun we used an adapter and allowed us to run the smaller 10-round magazine from the AX308. And this simplifies the kit for the end user by reducing a component part that's needed to run a smaller magazine. So we had a lot of good response to this feature as well. Also, we have a two-position ambidextrous safety. This is in response to the piece spec, and we did a lot of work to go as far as we could with ambidextrous features on the gun. So the lever is mirrored on both sides for a left or right-handed shooter. Also, all of the toolless adjustable hardware on the cheek and the butt are completely reversible. The hinge is reversible to change the fold and the hand of all the controls on the butt.
Nice. And we did discuss before we started rolling on the safety that it is possible for an end user to order the gun with the standard previous three-position safety. That's correct?
So, yes, because AI serves an international clientele, we have the capability to meet specific user requirements, and there certainly will be governments out there that want the classical AI 3 position with the bolt lock, and that safety shroud can be fitted straight into this bolt should the end user want that.
Okay, very nice. It looks like you've done a ton of work to really go over the whole system. It's not just the AXMC again with a small iteration. You said there were only really a handful of parts that carried over between the previous MC and the ASR.
Yeah, there's almost nothing on this gun that hasn't been touched in terms of design and engineering, and there literally are maybe a half a dozen parts that are carryover from the MC. A few internal parts in the hinge, the bolt knob, and this little adjustable butt assembly is really all that carries over.
Well, you guys did a great job, because looking at it, it definitely looks like an AIAX. It still has that aesthetic, but little details like the fact that the rail is now integral to the handguard, and that you've gone over to the M-LOK rails, which seems to be what everybody's kind of standardizing on.
M-LOK obviously was a P-spec requirement. However, we will also supply this gun into the commercial market with our key slot architecture, which is internally it's much cleaner for barrel changing because all the fasteners come up flush. So there's a lot of people have thought, oh my God, AI's gone away from key slot, but we haven't. We're not abandoning that at all. It's just that the user now has another option in terms of the interface that they want to use.
Okay, very nice. And do you have a commercial price point yet for the gun?
Not yet. That will be released very shortly. But this rifle will sell for very close to the same price as the current AXMC. We're not looking at any big changes there.
Okay, very nice. And when do you expect to have commercial availability?
We will be delivering the first guns as part of a limited edition system that mirrors exactly what we submitted to SOCOM in about 3.5 to 4 months.
Okay, and will those be through Mile High? Or?
Mile High and Euro Optic, our two distributors, will have inventory. You can call them and buy as many as you like.
Okay, and I notice the other big change for the show here is the LE AT.
Yes.
We want to switch over and take a look at that.
Let's go look.
So now we've got the LE version of the AT here. Do you want to take us through a little of the features and what makes it different than the standard AT?
Sure, John. This gun has a feature set that's purely based on feedback from law enforcement agencies, and Mile High Shooting Accessories, our law enforcement distributor. And what we have done here is bring a feature set into the rifle that's a unique gun for law enforcement. And everybody universally loves this toolless adjustable back end, which has only been offered on the AX series rifle. But the AX is a very high spec gun, and it's often out of the price point range of LEOs. So we were able to add this onto the AT at a nominal increase in cost, and it's been very well received. This butt, of course, like the AX, folds to the right over the bolt handle. The other request was for a very short barrel, and so we're supplying the gun with a 16.5 inch barrel, which is just a half an inch over the minimum before we get into NFA. Has a 5/8 24 muzzle thread standard, so we've long had the M18 AI thread, but the reality is all of the brakes and suppressors in the United States market are driven by the 5/8 24, so we're respecting the market and the needs of the end user there. We also combined the UNS and rail mount into a package under a single part number instead of a group of parts as in the past, and it's very competitively priced. So it just makes a very compact, foldable, portable system that is uniquely tailored to the needs of police snipers.
Very nice, and I know there was some discussion for a very long time about end users getting a hold of AX stocks to be able to put them on their ATs or their legacy rifles, and it's interesting that you guys carried that over, and it looks like for a law enforcement officer that's going to be working out of the back of a squad car, or even smaller and smaller squad cars as we go over, this is a very nice compact package that you can easily throw in a deployment bag and roll out with.
Absolutely. I mean, folded, John, this rifle is barely over 30 inches. So it's highly portable, highly concealable. It's an easy gun to move in and out of areas where you may not want the public to understand what's going on, or create a situation, where
Well, and
people are.
the really nice thing about the AT from an agency standpoint is the ability to rebarrel the guns without having to send them back to a factory or send them back to a gunsmith. So now they can swap barrels off with the armorers.
Absolutely, and that's been a feature of the AT generation for several years now. And as you know, John, it's just a 4mm hex tool to loosen a clamp mechanism, and the barrel is literally a 60-second change for a new barrel or a new configuration of barrel. So yeah, we retain that feature. It makes the gun really easy to maintain at the organizational level. The police organization doesn't have to send the gun off for 5 or 6 months to have a new barrel put on. They can do it themselves.
I can bet there's going to be some guys that are really looking forward to getting their hands on these for their agencies. So I think you guys have done a great job advancing the AT and really tailoring it to what a law enforcement sniper needs. So it looks great.
Well, thank you. We're always listening and trying to make a better product.
Thanks a lot for your time, Scott.
Thank you, John.